Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 228 for Tuesday, the 15th of October, 2024. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby, 360G, and joining me tonight is...
Sensei Switch, so far.
So far, yes, we were supposed to have Nick join us, but he has mysteriously vanished. He is online on Discord, but he's not joined the chat. And he's not messaged us. So I'm going to keep an eye out for him on my phone as well. So yeah, it's just me and Darren. Just a quick note before we begin. I am off to Australia in December. I'm going for the whole month. So there may not be a podcast for the month. I don't know yet. I am going to take my laptop and some headphones, just in case I fancy maybe doing a one-off with the Aussies or Wes, because obviously they're on that time zone. Sly, Turner and Wes, I think, are on that time zone. There might be a couple of others. So just in case there isn't one, you know why. I might do one, though, if I can get hold of them guys. Just, maybe a one-off, just because it'll be some different people, etc. So, but yeah, I'm looking, because the thing is, I don't know what I know you like the, shall we say, inclement weather, Darren. That's a nice way of putting it, because of gaming and stuff like that. And I get it. However, I'm kind of opposite. I get really I feel pretty shit in the winter. I think I suffer from that sad thing. That seasonal affective disorder. I've actually got a sad lamp I put on in my room during the day when I'm working, etc. The winters in the UK, they just fucking depress the shit out of me. So I'm really looking forward to being in the fucking sunshine, mate, for 3.5 weeks while I'm out there. So yeah, it'll be good. Chilling out. Won't be doing any gaming or anything. I'm going to take my Steam Deck, obviously, for the journey, but yeah, just be nice.
I have reverse sads.
Yeah, well, yes, sunny affective disorder, or what we'll call it, or something.
Just make it overcast and cloudy all the time. Perfect.
I'll tell you what, I went out for a big walk today, and it was the first day where I've actually felt that kind of chill, that real biting wind.
That's gorgeous, isn't it?
Since the beginning of the year. I was like, ooh.
Fresh air in your lungs, everything.
Yeah. So I don't know, this is really bad for October. Had to put the heating on today for about half an hour just to get the chill out the house. Oh no, mental. So... yes, the season is setting in. Anyway, video games. I've probably played a few more games than you this week, Darren, to be fair. I've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games.
That's quite a hefty amount. Yes.
I've actually played more than that, but I'm not going to talk about the other ones because I talk about them every fucking week. Call of Duty and Final Fantasy 14. So, yes, been quite a lot of gaming going on. And I do want to say, though, where are people in an evening these days? And it's not, I think it's a getting older thing, but I've been kind of in that mood for doing some co-op gaming or some multiplayer gaming with people online, maybe some Battlefield in an evening or Borderlands. Me and Gav had done some Borderlands the other week, or I've even been tempted to pick up Space Marine to do some co-op, but no one seems to come online anymore. We did go through a little bit of a time period where we were doing a Battlefield game on a Thursday. And that, I really loved those because it was really good social. It was once a week, about 4 of us, and that hasn't happened for ages. So I want to try and get people back being, social again, but I don't know what it is. People just, I don't know what it is. No one's around. I go online and no one's online, Darren.
Yeah, during the summer it's understandable because obviously everyone's houses are hot and humid and sweaty.
Yeah.
You generally don't want to make it worse by having a console and big TV on and that.
Yeah, I get it. But winter is coming. We need to get gaming again, people. So if you're up for if anyone listening has fancy some games, message me Discord or whatever. I'll try and get some gaming on. And we'll do some socials. So anyway, yeah. So I've been playing some single player games. I've turned into a bit of stunty recently. I've been playing a lot of games, but not completing anything. So, which is really like, I just can't finish anything. So, I've been playing still a lot of Black Myth Wukong PC, obviously available on PlayStation 5. That is it. Absolutely loving it at the minute. It's a long game, man. I've put in over 20 hours on this, and I've only partway through the 4th chapter. I believe there's 6 chapters on this game, so there's probably a lot to go. I did notice on my Steam that Turner had completed it, and he's got about 60 hours of game time on it. So, yeah, it's a hefty chunk of a game. It's definitely gotten a lot harder now. I've got onto this chapter though. I'm struggling quite a bit with just the normal enemies at times, to be honest. And I would say if you have arachnophobia, do not play this game because there's a lot of spiders on this chapter. So,
what, in Black Myth? Weird.
Yes, yeah, lots of spiders. I'm not going to give anything away because I know it's like an action-y kind of, and people are comparing it to like a Dark Souls game, but it has actually got quite a good story to it, which does follow along quite nicely with, myths and legends, etc., etc. So I don't really want to be spoiling the story because it is actually quite a big part of the game, to be honest with you. I'm really loving it, and I think I touched on it last week. I'm liking it because it feels very old school in the design of, each chapter. The areas are pretty much open world type areas, but there's no map or anything, so you kind of have to explore to get to where you want to go. And there's lots of branches off, so that like on every chapter, there's loads of optional bosses, but you kind of don't know if they're an optional boss or not until you beat them, if that makes sense. Because usually when you face a big boss in a chapter, like a path will open up or something, or some story beat will hit. Whereas, if you're hitting like a sub boss, that doesn't happen. But when you come across these bosses, you just don't know if they're actually for the main story or not. So you just get on with it, Very, very hard though, but it's nice. You can tweak your character quite nicely the further on you get in the game. So you got like you hold down the right trigger and you got these 4 different specials that you can assign, but there's more than 4. I think I've got 6 at the minute off the top of my head. So you need to choose which of those 6 to assign to your bar, because you can only have 4 on the bar at a time, and then you can upgrade them in the upgrade menu as well. And then you can have up to 4 stances. I've unlocked 3 of them, and they can all be upgraded separately as well. And they all move differently. So the game is quite intricate. And then you've also got you can make better weapons. You can craft new gear. And different gear has positives and minuses. And what I found, like on some bosses, some armor is better than others depending on if a boss, say, is using some poison attacks. So you can have armor that has like 30-40% more defense on poison, so so it goes quicker or something like that, right? So there's quite a lot goes into this game. It's not just your typical hack and slash type game. But as I mentioned last week, I'm not going to go on about this for ages. It looks gorgeous. The gameplay is really fast and fluid. It feels really, really good on the controller. I can only imagine how good it would feel on a PS5 controller with the haptics. I'm just using a Xbox controller on the PC. And it's just a really well designed game, mate, to be honest. Like, everything just looks gorgeous. It all looks very true to like kind of Chinese style. All the creatures are very fantastical. And I did a bit of reading up on this actual, the Monkey King, on the side, and it's all from what I've read is very true. Like, all the characters are kind of true to the folk tale, if you can call it that, or myth.
I think, as far as I'm aware, it's one of the oldest mythy tales in the world. Like,
wow. And there is, and we actually last week, me and the kids watched the Monkey King Netflix movie as well, which was pretty good. So,
do you remember Monkey Magic back in the day?
No, it does ring a bell to me, but it's not someone I've ever.
But yeah, it's all the same thing, basically.
Okay.
And obviously, Enslaved Odyssey to the West, which is a modern tale of that same fable.
I loved that game. That was one of my favourite games on the 360.
I liked that.
Yeah. It was,
and didn't it leave it open as well?
I believe it did. Yeah.
But I don't think it did particularly well, did it?
No, I don't think it did. But it was a masterpiece, in my opinion. Absolutely fantastic.
Was it the last Ninja Theory game they did before?
Well, they went shit.
Before they went and did Hellblade.
Maybe. Yeah. So Black Myth is great. It would be nice to see more people that I know giving it a bish bash bosh. I know it's tough when it's only digital and only on 2 platforms. Because I was looking at my Steam, and I've only got 7 of my friends on Steam have played it. And when I look at my PlayStation friends, there's only about 3 or 4 on my friends list who've played this as well. So, but it's sold really well, apparently. Sold millions of copies. It's done very well.
Yeah.
It's been very popular title.
I don't know how many of them were obvious, because obviously China's gaming market is absolutely massive. So I know a massive portion of their sales is going to be just China alone.
Yeah. So
I wonder if China's gaming media is actually like what gaming media used to be like years ago.
Probably where they actually talk about just the games.
Yeah.
Well, I find that quite interesting take, because I subscribe to this magazine app every so often to read like the gaming magazines on my tablet, and so I read Edge, Retro Gamer.
Retro's still going. Yeah. I was going to say.
And to be fair, when you read the articles on those magazines, it's like going back in time, because they're actually just talking about the game itself. The graphics, the gameplay,
Edge
all that
was kind of like the tech experty kind of analysis on stuff, wasn't it? It was always like the more in-depth kind of look into things. I didn't always agree with some of their assessments of games back in the day, but they usually were like one of the most highly regarded. But is Edge magazine still actually going? It's probably just digital only now, isn't it? Because if I remember correctly, they were one of the most expensive physical magazines.
I think they're still doing physical, to be fair. I believe they are.
Fair.
My favourite gaming magazine was Games TM. I used to subscribe to that and get it every month. And then it got bought out by I think it was Future Publishing or someone, like, it got bought out by whoever owns the Edge magazine, and then they shut it down.
I think that's Future, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a shame, because I know people say, you can get all your news from YouTube or by websites. Sometimes it's just really nice to I mean, I know it's digital, but just in my case, but just to sit down and take your time just to digest some articles, etc., that are just well written without any agenda that you can see, if that makes sense.
Not only that,
yeah.
obviously we get a lot of our gaming news is going to be about sort of obviously certain games coming out or studios and things like that. Whereas I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff that you'd get in Edge and some of the various other publications used to be like, oh, there's an arcade still going in this area, and so and so company is still making arcade games, and this is their newest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
But yeah, Black Myth is cool. So I'm just watching this boss fight. I remember doing this and remember it being very tough. But yeah. So Clarky, I expect to see you on Battlefield on Thursday next week, mate. He's finding it hard to commit. Yeah, it is hard, mate, when you got, partners and kids and stuff. I get it, mate. Nice. So yeah, that's Black Myth, mate. I don't want to bang on about it too much because I still haven't finished it. I feel like I'm only about halfway through, so it's a long game.
Nice.
Yeah. So what about you, mate? Anything cool this week?
I might as well join the bandwagon of a game that's only on 2 platforms as well.
Oh.
I started Silent Hill 2.
Oh yes. Excellent. Well, you must have only started it yesterday then, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so I've only put like a couple of hours into it. But so far I'm really enjoying what I've experienced with this game.
Yeah.
It visually looks very pleasing, almost akin to like a walking simulator per se. Mm-hmm. If you know what I mean. They used to set the atmosphere really well and they'd always look really pretty. Because obviously there wasn't a lot of gameplay there. Yeah. So I'm still obviously in the opening part, which is in the sort of obviously the main sort of suburb of Silent Hill when you sort of first arrive. But there seems to be a lot more you can actually do in this than you could in the older version.
Right. Okay.
It's just a shame there's a few of the areas because after I sort of played it for an hour or so, I went back and actually watched someone playing an hour of the original PS2 just to see what was slightly different and how things had been improved. And yeah, you actually meet your first monster in a completely different place in the original game than you do in this one.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, it was highly detailed. You got through. There was a few areas I was like, I don't remember the farm. But then watching the replay back, it's just all in mist and there's a sign.
Yeah, okay.
But I was like, I'd love it if you could actually go in there and just have a look around, even if there's nothing in there. It would just add that little bit extra. But there, as soon as I got into the sort of city bit and you meet your first sort of flesh thing,
yes.
I don't know if they've actually got proper names, have they? They're just flesh things.
They're just weird looking. Yeah.
But I'm not massively I don't know if I like the designs of the creatures too much in this. They kind of look like they've been toned down a little. They seemed a lot more fucked up back in the day. If that makes sense, what I've come across now.
And the way they
sort of look a bit weird. Yeah, they move roughly about the same. But then you've also got to think lower frame rate back then. It's going to make things look a bit more erratic when they're moving about. So basically took the first enemy out and all the rest of it, and then I was looking around and I was like, oh, I don't remember being able to go inside this shop. Oh, I don't remember being able to go and look in there. And then as I was walking around a bit longer, it was like, oh, by the way, you can smash car windows to scavenge items out of cars.
Yeah.
And I was like, stop it. Like, that's pretty obvious. I mean, yeah, it's in quite a few games, but I wasn't expecting it to turn up in this.
Yeah.
And then basically there was another shop, and I was like, hang on, can I just smash this window and climb? Oh!
Yeah, you can just smash all the windows,
Yeah, so you can just smash all the windows of the shops and stuff, and obviously as long as there isn't bars and sort of obviously things blocking you, you can just jump over and go exploring inside the shops. Fair enough, there's probably nothing in a majority of them. There was one I went into and there was just a note, but it wasn't one you keep, it was just one you read.
Yeah.
kind of thing. But it was cool that it actually let you do that. And I've been in another few sort of little areas that I don't remember from the first game, or if they were in the first game, you couldn't actually go inside them.
Yeah.
But it feels really atmospheric. It uses the DualSense really well. It does the classic, the light on the front of it glows green when you're in good health. And obviously it turns orange and stuff as you take damage, etc. Also, the noise from the radio comes out of the controller's speaker.
Oh my god, how freaky.
So obviously you know something weird is about when obviously you start hearing like the old interference kind of noises and that. Wow. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I hope it does actually hold up, but so far they've done a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, how far in are you? Because I'm not super far in. I know Sly completed it today, and he says it's amazing. I'm only in. There's a couple of apartment buildings. I'm in the second one, so if people have played it, they'll know where I am, and I'm trying to do a puzzle regarding a clock, like a grandfather clock. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. Which was I'm trying to remember. Was it the very first not Resident Evil, the very first Silent Hill that had the famous piano puzzle about the birds flying overhead, and obviously in relation to the keys, the blackbirds and the doves?
Maybe. Mate, my memory will not go back that far.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, and this is what I was going to say. Like, I played the original Silent Hill 2 back in the day, but I don't remember anything about it really because it was so long ago, you know? I just remember it being freaky. And this is what I was going to get to is, you know, the reason I'm still quite early on in the game, you know, being in this second apartment building, is because I can't play the game for more than an hour at a time because it freaks me the fuck out.
It is grim.
Yeah.
It has a very grim sort of look, but yeah, I think that sort of helps the fact that everything looks so much better now. It feels like a real sort of town. There's like a lot of graffiti about. There's rubbish blowing about the streets, leaves falling. The fog is really atmospherically and well done.
Yeah, it is.
The way things come in and out of it and stuff. I know the exact part you're on about because it's kind of in the original game one of those moments of like, what's this? This shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And it kind of messes you up.
Yeah.
A little bit in your thought perception, as it were. But no, I think I'm sort of getting near there. I've just done the puzzle with the jukebox, if you know what I'm on about.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, that wasn't in the original.
Okay.
I don't remember that puzzle in the original.
I mean,
although it was a long time ago that I played it.
I mean, the good thing about it, though, Dan, is it kind of like nudges you in the right direction of where you're meant to go next, but doesn't hold your hand, if that makes sense.
Well, that's it, yeah. So I've been exploring all the dead ends, seeing where I can and can't get into.
Yeah.
And obviously stumbled across things and used a code, which was optional to get into a market, which had like a load of ammo and healing items and stuff in there. But you can obviously just miss that out. It doesn't particularly matter.
Yeah.
One other thing from this that I noticed that's kind of, I don't know whether I like it or not, is the fact that things don't stay dead.
Yes, I've noticed this as well.
So I'm basically like, whenever I go back through an area or whatever, I'm just like, oh, there's that body from earlier on. I was like, I was fucking getting up again.
Yeah, it's freaky as fuck. Yes.
So I stay down. I'd stand there like stamping on its head for like 10 times just to make sure. I was like, don't fucking get up again.
But it freaks me out because, like, you walk past one and then all of a sudden, like, and you know you killed it earlier, and then you hear the noise and you turn around, it's right there, and you're like, fucking hell. you know, this game, you know, and I've always thought this, that Silent Hill games are always much freakier than the Resident Evil games because they just have so much more atmosphere.
It's the psychological horror. It's not a visceral horror. Yeah. It's psychological. Yeah,
100%. Because the sound that they do, the sounds really well, and obviously because you're just a normal dude with just a plank of wood and a pistol, and that's it. You know,
it turns violent pretty quick.
It does, yeah.
It's almost like if you were to be in that situation, you'd be like, oh, there's a flesh sack that came through a thing, so I took it out with a nail on a bat.
Yeah.
And then every time you see one, it's like, fucking come here, beat it to death, kind of thing. They should have done this as a game when the fact that all the meat sacks are actually regular citizens, and the whole thing of Silent Hill, he's just having a mental episode. He's actually going around and killing people and breaking into their houses.
But I think like when you're in the town itself and not inside the buildings, like the fog really sets the atmosphere. You know,
I will say the interiors are really well done as well.
Yeah, the inside of the buildings are good, and because every building I've been in, I've just felt really freaked out because there's this unease about being in an enclosed space and something could just jump out at you.
It's everything's like rotting as well, isn't it, and festering away.
Yeah.
Like as though like that people have just kind of upped and left.
Yeah.
Technically, I believe, spoilers aside, I think the whole game is kind of a metaphor anyway, isn't it?
For just being fucked up. Loss and...
So you obviously can't go too far into details because it will completely spoil the game. Like for people who obviously haven't played it, and a lot of people haven't because it is a good 20-plus-year-old game, I believe, by now.
Yeah.
But the other thing that was actually weird when I was playing it, I was thinking back to the original Silent Hill.
Yeah.
And I can't recall the name of the person you played in it or what the hell they were doing or anything outside of number 2, really.
I don't know why they've not done... I don't know why they didn't remaster or remake 1 and then move on to this one.
Yeah, I suppose, but everyone's favourite is usually 2. When you ask about most people which one they like the most, it's 2 is usually the one that comes up. So yeah, it's weird. I just remember the school from the first one, and the kids. Obviously, I haven't had any of the moments yet in the game, and I'm looking forward to those.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean, when the sirens kick in,
and
starts to go mad. Yeah, so that's something I'm kind of looking forward to, but not looking forward to at the same time.
Yes. But no, it's actually really well done. For a remake, it's done well. It really is.
I hope it actually does well as well, like sales-wise, because there was a kind of a lot of apprehension. There was obviously a lot of excitement when the initial reveal trailer came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we saw more of it and the kind of aesthetic change to some of the characters, it was like, are they modern audiencing this? Kind of a thing. But then after sort of getting hold of it and playing it, I'm just like, no, I'm really enjoying it. And that kind of hasn't been a thought.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm aware, everyone seems to be liking it.
Yeah, it's done well, mate. It's good. I think it's really good. I just can't get, because I used to love horror games. I used to play them all the time, watch loads of horror films and all that. But I think the older I've gotten, the more wimpy I've gotten when it comes to this, because I just can't handle it like for too long. I have to turn it off and play something more chill. It's
you know
weird.
What horror game I'd love to remake?
Go on.
Condemned.
Oh yeah, I remember Condemned on the 360.
I don't know if it would. I think it would get quite a few people moaning about it.
Maybe beating up the hobos with your pipe.
Yeah, well, it's very visceral and in your face, isn't it? It's basically like hand-to-hand combat and stuff, and people literally, as far as I'm aware, like I remember people jumping out of shadows telling me to go fuck myself and stuff in that game while they were like trying to smack me in the face with a 2x4 and stuff. But it was just really that game had a messed up atmosphere as well. Like was it Bart's department store with the mannequins?
Oh yeah, no, that was freaky. Yeah.
And it kind of did the Dexter thing before Dexter did it as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you were obviously a copper who was having psychological episodes yourself.
Yeah.
Who was chasing down a serial killer who was killing other serial killers.
Yeah.
And he was killing the serial killers in the way that they killed their victims.
That's right, yeah.
It's just... But yeah, if someone wants to remake that, I think that'd go down really well. Downside is they made a sequel which went more actiony and kind of ruined the storyline a bit.
I
Got
still
a bit
enjoyed
silly.
it though. I still enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Didn't they have multiplayer to it as well, or something stupid that no one asked for? I think they did. I believe they did.
No.
Because I think I remember boosting achievements with it with someone as well. Might have been Peebs.
Probably. Peebs the Chivo whore. And now the trophy whore.
Yeah.
But yeah, Silent Hill, I think it's really well done. I've been enjoying playing it this week. I just haven't been able to play it as much as I wanted just because it's just a bit too scary, but it is really good. So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the original back in the day, the old 3D polygons.
Yeah.
Playing that on like days off from like college or something, and even during the daytime on like a PS3 with like an isometric camera or PS1 isometric camera, like janky graphics, I could only play that game like in the daylight.
Yeah.
For like half hour or so at a time because it used to freak me out.
Yeah. The thing I will say that's a negative to this game, and it's just gone very old school, is you can't save it whenever you want. You got to find a fucking save point, and that's just really annoying.
That was in the original,
of course,
because I don't remember that. But obviously, when I've been watching people playing back through it, it's like, oh look, there's the well, and oh, there's the save point as well. So it kind of they just literally went with certain aspects of it as close to the original as they could.
Yeah, it's just frustrating because, if I'm having a cheeky 20 minutes during the day and the kids are around and I need to come away, I want to be able to save it, you know what I mean?
There was a little bit of a cheeky trigger warning at the start of the game, isn't there, when you boot it up?
I didn't read it, so I didn't. I have no idea what it said.
Basically, this contains themes of blah 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 blah. If you suffer from any of these issues, then the usual kind of thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Which is fine, but at the end of the day,
I think you know what you're walking into when you buy a Silent Hill game, surely.
With any horror, you're stepping into an uncomfortable zone. That's the whole fucking point of horror.
Yeah.
Feeling uncomfortable, knowing something's going to be like, ugh, and kind of not sit right with you. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's what makes it horrific.
Yeah. Have you seen the mods that they've got on PC for this already?
No, I think I told you one, or mentioned one, didn't I? The no fog mod that someone had made.
Yeah, so it's just quite interesting. I saw some screenshots, and I know obviously it takes away from the vibe of the game, but it was just quite interesting seeing like how good the game actually looks without the fog, just like the lighting and the reflections and all that. And then there's other mods to change up the characters, so you could play as Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil or CJ from Grand Theft Auto. I thought was quite funny. So, yeah, all good, mate. I'm glad you got into it.
Yes. Okay. But yeah, it is weird as well. Like I will say they did a lot of good work with the older games, with it being obviously a fixed camera.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff is kind of obscured from you.
Yeah.
Whereas this is had the old Resident Evil third-person camera treatment.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, I'm going to move on then. What should we talk about next? What about Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream, the game for you that never turned up?
Yeah.
I'm still pumping the hours into this. I'm loving it, and I think I mentioned it last week. Is I'm playing this still every single day, and some of that is because there's dailies on it. Everyone loves the daily.
Is that because it's basically trying to ape an MMO kind of a thing, or is it just like part of the
It's part of the game. Yeah, it's just a part of the way the game's done. So every day, like there's a section like there's daily challenges to do, which is like go do a co-op mission as a support character, kill 25 enemies in one co-op run or something like that. I haven't actually completed the story at all, which is mental, but I have unlocked all the characters but 2 now to actually use. They're all showing up on my character selection screen now, but so I can't use two of them, and it's saying because I've got to get further in the story, which is fine. Playing it a little bit on my PC, but mainly on my Steam Deck. Works great on there, looks fantastic. And it's just a chill game because it's literally like I'll do, I mean, the story mode, like the way the missions are is pretty much exactly the same as the co-op anyway. You know, you'll watch some, on the story mode, it's just you watch a cutscene and then you'll go into one of the levels which I've already been on in co-op pretty much and run through with some of the characters. And then I'll get to the end of that and then a little cutscene will play again. But yeah, the fun is just for me, just going online, doing a dungeon run, takes about 10 minutes, just collecting items from the chests and killing the enemies and getting through to the end and doing the boss. It's just fun, as I'm enjoying just using all the different characters because they all play completely different. Obviously, you got like your different classes. You got like your fighter class, your support class, your shooters and mages and stuff like that. And the good thing about the dailies is it kind of, and the weeklies is it kind of forces you to play as the different characters, as the different character classes. So you don't just stick to one. So it adds a little bit of variety to it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, man, and I wish you had it because I think we'd
obviously, yeah, I wish I had it as well.
Yeah, because I think we'd have a blast just jumping into some party chat for, say, even if it was for half an hour and doing a couple of runs or whatever, just to kill some time and a bit of socializing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I'm absolutely loving it. There's not really much else I can say on it, to be honest. Because it is a very simple game, to be honest. You know, because you've only got the co-op modes and then the boss raid mode and then kind of the campaign mode.
Story, yeah.
But that I like that because it's the simplicity that makes it so fun. It's not, you know, it's not complicated at all. You're just doing the runs, you're earning weapons and better gear for your characters as you go along. You're leveling up your characters, all separate. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm loving it, mate. I'm absolutely loving it. It's a good, fun game. So, yeah.
Oh, I will still obviously be picking it up at some point. It's just when it actually turns up, isn't it?
So have you asked for them to send you another copy?
I'm going to wait until tomorrow to do that.
Oh, okay.
Give them one more day.
Okay.
Because that way it will have actually gone past 10 working days since.
Yeah.
So then there's no qualms for them getting another one out there.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Makes sense, dude. So yeah, it's a fun guy. It's a fun title. I know it's quite niche, but you say it's just a lot of fun. So perfect for the Steam Deck. So back to you, Darren.
Yeah, I might as well briefly talk about the second half of the first season of The First Descendant.
Yes, I've seen some of these new outfits.
Or outfit, I suppose, technically.
Is it for not? Is it Freyna? Freyna.
Yeah, Freyna. The basically the messed up one, mentally screwed up with an operation that went wrong. Because obviously all of them have kind of got these different abilities that all came about through either accidents or experiments or other things.
Yeah.
Which kind of explains why they've got all these kind of weird abilities.
Yeah.
And her one was obviously kind of messed up. You find out more about it. You can read about it in their bios and stuff, but you sort of play through and go back reliving the trauma and stuff. Of obviously the incident and tracking down someone who was responsible for it, which is like her story that was added. It doesn't last long. You can sort of burn through it in about an hour or so, I guess, if you just sort of teleport between the different zones and sort of doing stuff. But the main, obviously, thing was they added the ultimate variation of her character.
Yeah, cool.
Which I now have. It's probably done actually by now because you have to basically cook it in the shop, don't you, for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Before you pick it up. That's how they make some of their money, I guess. But yeah, I'll pick her up in a little bit. So that's all good. And she's also received a shitload of buffs.
Nice.
To make her probably, at the moment, I would say as a character, she is probably the meta.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Especially for a lot of the runs, because if you've got Contagion as your transcendent mod, which spreads the poison toxin to any enemy that's killed in the vicinity, imagine like making a popcorn bucket. That's basically what it is. Because you've got these new missions, the infiltration missions. You can now do like 400% difficulty versions of them.
Okay, wow.
And I can go in there with Fragner and like wipe the floor with everything pretty damn quick. Just throw down a puddle, and as they're spawning, they're just getting mullered by damage constantly. And every time they explode, more poison gets released. So when more enemies come in, they get infected. Just like chain reactions beyond belief. Like it's the only time the game will. I've literally seen the frame rate struggle to keep up with the sheer chaos that's going on. But you just have to laugh at it. It's just manic watching that much shit going on screen and thinking, like, I'm amazed it can actually keep up with everything that's going on, all the numbers coming off the enemies for the damage and the crits and all of that, what's going down as well.
Cool.
So yeah, I've really enjoyed the second half of the update. As a character to get, she's far easier to get than Hayley. I mean, Hayley's not too bad now, but if you're doing the invasion missions solo, they're still shit. Like,
Yeah.
or in co-op, they're not good. And to be honest, the invasions, like I was in party speaking with Pudster yesterday because I was obviously playing some of it with him. The 400% difficulty hard invasion runs are way easier than invasions still.
What?
It doesn't make sense.
No,
it literally doesn't make sense because I can go into an invasion and I can be put down in 3 hits.
Wow.
And that's with, like, obviously my character built as well as they are. It's not min-maxed, but it's still good enough to hold my own.
Yeah.
Whereas I go into, like, the other ones and went in with Pudster and stuff, and it takes, like, 6, 7, 8 hits to put me down. And by then, I'm obviously getting health back and doing all this other stuff. It's just bizarre. I don't actually get it. I don't know how that mode even came about, to be frank. It's just stupid.
Wow.
So, like, but it was a massive learning experience for them because they're obviously running a free-to-play game. And I do believe Season 1 drove so many people off.
Yeah.
Because when you've got a big online sort of free-to-play stroke MMO light type of game that runs off like the community, what better than to have all of your new content be single player?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And rock hard single player as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I get out there. There are the usual people that are like, oh, it's easy. As they jump around with Bunny with like a fucking super meta fucking build that they read off the internet to do everything precise that just melts everything. It's like, yeah, that's great, but not everyone wants to play games like that. To be frank, some of us just want to put skills and things in things that make sense, not put them in things to sort of break the game.
That's a bit like Diablo 4 with the character builds online, and if you didn't follow a fucking build, you're making the game 10 times harder and you get fucked, yeah.
I haven't, I'd never actually even picked, speaking of Diablo, I never even picked up the expansion.
It was too expensive, 35 quid for an expansion, fuck that.
It was pretty expensive. I still think it's stupid that you got one class.
Yeah.
Like, that's horrendous. One class, like after a year, one. Like there was only like 5 classes in the game as there was.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like you say, the price, and then there was quite a lot of other stuff out and around the time, and it's just like I don't know if I've actually got the time to put all that time in. I'm not saying I'll never pick it up, but I never even did the last seasons because I couldn't sort of be bothered. And I think with a game that kind of runs off like the Battle Pass, Season Pass, FOMO kind of shit, once you've missed some of it, you've got less thing to go, well, I've missed stuff already, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of less inclined to go back because you already know you've lost out on some bits.
That makes sense.
Even if it's just cosmetics, etc.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I haven't actually been hearing good things about it either.
That's a shame, man, because I enjoyed the game up until I finished the campaign. Then I was like, I'm bored now. Yeah.
So sort of people sort of saying like, yeah, it was reasonably okay, but they're like the story was not good.
Yeah, that's a shame. Big shame. All right, let's talk about something else then. Okay, so I went back to test drive Unlimited Solar Crown this past week. Actually put quite a few hours into it. And I don't know what it was like. So I was just on in the evening. I just didn't really want to think. You know what I mean? Like I could have played some more Silent Hill, but I wasn't in the mood. You know, you just want to switch your brain off and just play something. You know, just yeah. So
like Vampire Survivors or something. Like just turn the mind off and have some fun.
Yeah, so that was kind of test drive for me this week. So I've unlocked 98% of the roads, and fuck knows where the other 2% are. I have no idea. But I've pretty much gone around the whole map, unlocked. So pretty much all the roads apart from the 2%. Done every collectible that I can see on the map as well. And that just doing that has ranked me up considerably and got me a lot of in-game credits, which is awesome. So I've done that, and then I went and did some races, and I think the latest update they did a few weeks ago has actually sorted the races out a little bit, because before the patch, like, some races were easy, some races were impossible, like the AI cars would just drive off and you'd never see them again. I think they've definitely sorted that out. There is still some teething issues with the AI, so I was in second place yesterday when I was playing, and then the car in front of me just fucking careered off the road and flipped in the air and disappeared down a mountain.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah, so I won that race because of that. But no, it's there's a good challenge now, because I did about 7 or 8 races this week at least, and won most of them. But the ones I did win, you know, it was very close, which is kind of what you want. You want a challenge, right? I know the player base is quite low, but every single day I've been on, I've seen people driving around on the same map as me. I've bumped into players, we've beeped each other, flashed each other, and cruised around a little bit, which has been quite cool. So underneath the scathing reviews and the hate out there, there's actually a good game underneath it all, I think. I think it's a good social experience. I think it's very fun to chill and just cruise around, because the city and the actual world itself is very well designed, and graphically it looks absolutely fantastic on PC. But it's just had those few issues, right? With they're not. I think the big mistake they made is limiting it to, I think it's like 8 people per kind of game world, if that makes sense. I think it needs more. I think you need like 50 or something, because there's races in there which are multiplayer only, and it doesn't even try to matchmake you with people on other servers. You know, like on Final Fantasy 14, when you're queuing for a dungeon run, it queues you, like it matchmakes you with people from other servers. It doesn't do that on this. So there's races on here which you'll probably never do, because it never finds people to race against, which is just silly, in my opinion. So I think they've got a lot to learn. I have been reading that the company share price has dropped massively, and obviously the player.
I'm not surprised. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those weird things where a developer announces a game,
Yes.
the main fan base turns around and says, "We don't want this,"
Yeah.
and they just stick their fingers in their ears, and then they're shocked when it doesn't do well.
Yeah.
Because like, as soon as the game was announced, pretty much 80% of the comments on the Twitter thing were like, "We don't want an always online racing game.
Yeah.
Why is this always online? I'm not going to buy it because it's always online."
It has no reason to be because it's
Yeah.
pretty much feels like a single player experience for the most part anyway.
And not only that, it's also one of those things where you just know that, obviously you've said it as well, Webby, where if this doesn't do particularly well, the servers could get shut down and then the game is actually gone.
Yeah, which would be a shame. And, I mean, Ubisoft, I know we give them a lot of shit, but at least with The Crew 2 and The Crew Motorfest, they actually have made it so you can play the game offline now.
That's good, yeah.
Which is really good. And I really hope something like this happens to Test Drive because I'm really worried now about their roadmap because they've got a whole year roadmap out for all these things that they want to do, like add the casino. Next year they want to add parts of Hawaii to it. Oh no, it's a Ibiza, isn't it? Parts of Ibiza to it. Is that even going to happen? Because you look at like these other games that have had roadmaps, Concord as a prime example, and then the game gets fucking canned. And I really hope this doesn't happen to this game because I genuinely, and this is not me being a fanboy for the franchise, I genuinely am enjoying the game. It just has issues. So I'd like to see it be a success, but they just need to sort it out. But no, it's I've been enjoying just cruising, as I say, and doing the races. But as I say, I think I'm the only one really in the well, there's only a few people in the community that have bought it, so I've not even attempted to play it with anyone I know.
I think it's going to be one of those games that will probably be quite well discounted during Black Friday and all that kind of sales that are coming up in November, etc.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
But will it be enough by then? Like for the actual studio?
I think they need
because obviously the longer they leave it, the player numbers start dropping off. And this is the thing, like even when obviously the First Descendants screwed up season 1, and obviously they lost a shitload of players.
Yeah.
Like yes, some of them will have come back for obviously the second part of the update to see if it's improved.
Yeah.
But a lot of them still won't have bothered. They'd have just been like, "No, I'm good. I'm done. Bye."
Yeah. I think this game would be perfect Game Pass and PlayStation Plus fodder. To be honest, I think that's going to be its only saving grace now, because I think all the people that really wanted the game have already bought it. It's not really been well advertised. Everyone else thinks it looks shit, so I don't see it selling really anymore now, to be fair. And it's not sold particularly well anyway. So, as I say, I have those concerns, and it's just it's a shame, So yeah.
Yeah, on the same thing, they did actually put out a statement the other day, like Nexon, the people who make First Descendants, saying they're basically running the entirety of games at the moment off of player feedback.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously the best way to survive, especially if you're running an online game.
Yeah.
If you're not pleasing your player base, then you're not going to have a player base to begin with.
That's it. 100% agree. Yeah. And that's what the guys who made Test Drive need to sort out. KT Racing. So, fingers crossed they sort it out, but I'm not holding out a lot of hope right now.
I mean, I think one of the best things they could do would be to patch in an offline thing, so then people know that the game is going to be preserved regardless.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway,
did you briefly before we move on? Did you hear about the change to Steam? I think in the US.
Yes.
Where they now have to state that you're literally just renting a license for the product you're buying rather than actually owning the copy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like that for decades anyway. But
that's opened a lot of people's eyes. Strange enough, on Twitter, people are like, "Oh, what do you mean?" It's just like, you must have realised, and then you get some people that are like, "Well, if you own the disc, you don't actually even own the game anyway." And it's like, well, strange enough, yeah, you own the copy of the disc. You don't own the game. The company owns the game, but you own a copy of it that you can access and play when you want.
Yeah.
That's the reason why people used to buy games.
Yeah.
Sort of a thing. And yeah, you don't necessarily have that with a license. But then I did see obviously a lot of people in the replies basically saying, well, you know, good old games, like,
yeah,
they don't do that.
Yeah. Also, well, gaming's just changed now. You you go back to the old days of cartridge based and the early CD based systems. You did own your game because you can still play it now if you have the hardware. However, now you buy a disc for a Series X or a PS5. Well, they can. Well, most of it's just a fucking download, isn't it? So you're fucked even if you own a disc.
PlayStation are reasonably good at the moment still with that. Like, there's the occasional game that will need an update, but most of the time it is the full game completely on the disc.
That's good. So, but I think it's just just modern gaming. Unfortunately,
modern entertainment.
Yeah. There we go. Anyway, you played anything else, Darren?
Yeah, I have just bits and bobs of things. Finishing off the Battle Pass thing on Street Fighter 6. I just literally put it on for about 10 minutes a day. Otherwise, I'll just break my fucking controller doing the same poxy fucking things back and forth on the subway.
Fair enough.
It does get really boring, especially considering when all of the enemies in the World Tour mode literally just have one effing move that they just do over and over and over.
Oh, annoying.
And it's bloody annoying, really annoying.
Yeah.
After a while. That. Obviously 14, just literally logging in and doing my retainers at the moment because, like I said to you the other day, I've run out of room for gear, so I can't actually gear my character or stuff anymore, which is fantastic. And there's no, as far as I'm aware, they haven't figured out a workaround or something to fix that yet, which is great. So that's pretty much the game on pause for me for a while. But to be honest, I'm not actually really that bothered, if that makes any sense.
Right.
I mean, like, yeah, it's cool. I still want to play it and log in and do stuff here and there, but it's like, I know it's never going anywhere. It's like, I like the fact that 14, you never feel like you have to always keep up with everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you do it constantly, don't you? You won't sub for 6 months and then you'll jump back in and just catch up.
Yeah, that's it. It's easy to do.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm hoping by the time or whatever that sort of kind of gets sorted.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I sort of haven't been on that as much.
That's fair
per
enough.
se.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously Space Marine 2 I'm still playing as well with my friend Matt.
Nice.
We've been going through some of the co-op operations. I say going through, it usually involves just going through a couple of sections and getting absolutely battered. And then having to restart the level. Because that game can just turn in a sec.
Yeah.
Like, there are definitely times in that where you get the proper, let's call it the back for blood treatment, shall we? Because that was another game that used to literally just be like, no, you're not getting through this. It doesn't matter what you do. You're just going to get arse slammed because this is how we want to play it this time. So you'd be like, oh yeah, we're doing really well. You jump into a section, it's like, you have two like Chaos Terminators, a load of people that's going to sit at the back and just shoot the crap out of you and have loads of little other people stabbing you in the legs. And then we'll spawn a boss in on top of all of that. Have fun. Oh, by the way, because you're playing on a higher difficulty, there's like no medcare stims, and if you do stumble across one, you're lucky if it puts you up like a block of health.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and when you level up in that game, it doesn't increase the damage you can take or your armor or anything like that. It
Oh,
just
wow.
gives you extra sort of perks and stuff. So you don't actually get stronger, like physically as the character. So you can take more damage. You might be able to have. It's basically more about choosing the perks and the options for you that enhance your stability, I guess, or sustainability.
Okay.
But it can lead to some fun and interesting moments, but it can also lead to some frustration. But it's still fun because it's kind of dip in and dip out,
Yeah.
I suppose.
That's cool. Nice.
So yeah, still enjoying it. I'll still recommend it to people. In fact, out of most of the modern games that have come out recently, that's the one that most people I know have picked up.
Yeah, it's mad, eh? It sold
So,
really well. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like 2 or 3 people at work that I know game. They'll just be like, "Oh, I picked up Space." I'll be like, "Oh, really?" It's like, didn't know that.
It's
Like
because
they're
it's just
raving about
it's
it.
back to basics, isn't it? Like the old
Yeah,
Gears game
it's
sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pick up and play, do a level or whatever. You got the co-op there. The campaign doesn't get dragged out for 40, 50 hours. It's
Yeah.
like a sort of like 6+ hour campaign and you're done.
Yeah.
And then you
Nice.
can move on to some of the other aspects.
Excellent.
And obviously you've got all of the free content that's coming soon, like the horde mode and extra maps and bits and bobs.
Excellent.
That will be interesting.
Nice. I'm glad. Good times. Is that it, or anything else, mate?
That's pretty much it for all I've played. I mean, I've had some stuff turn up, but it's like I'm juggling quite a few
Yeah.
things. Wayfinder, I've been playing a little bit of here and there,
Okay.
but it's again because it's in an MMO sort of style, or Wayfinder Echoes, it's now called.
Oh right.
Um,
Yeah.
it's you do end up running the same sort of stuff over and over again. So like if I do stick it on, I'll just do like a couple of dungeon runs or something, and then turn it off.
Okay.
Because it is sort of like kind of samey, and I'm kind of near the end of the game, I believe. So it's a lot of it is kind of the grindy stuff, where it's like, oh, I need the last base bit of design for this character. Oh, I need to go off and do 18 of these open world event things, and it's like I'll just do a couple here and there, and then go back to it and do them, rather than just
Yeah.
hammering it. Just would bore you, I think, after a while, or tuck you out.
Yeah. Fair enough. Nice. All right. I've played a couple more games then. One game I thought looked cool during some trailers and that, but I actually played the beta for it. Played one game and uninstalled it.
Oh, well.
um, a little game called Frag Punk.
Oh yes, yeah, I remember you saying in the party the other day.
Yeah, so it's a first-person shooter, another hero shooter, and I thought it looked interesting because it has that twist of the cards. So basically, after each round, there's a bunch of cards, and the team pick the cards that get played, and they put different bonuses into play, and the other team also do the same. So it'd be like the opposing team has big heads, so obviously it's easy to get headshots and things like that, and it does mix up the gameplay quite cool. However, to me, I am a big fan of Counter-Strike, and it feels like Counter-Strike made for kids, because it's exactly the same kind of thing, right? So you got one team of defenders, one team of guys or girls that have a bomb, and there's a couple of bomb planting places on the map. So basically, one team's got to plant the bombs, the other team's got to stop the plant. If you die, you're dead until the next round. So it's pretty much Counter-Strike, but with really cheesy looking characters, and with crazy moves. And it's like I tried to play that Valorant game, which is trying to be like that as well, and I never clicked with me because I don't know what it is. I like the seriousness or something like Counter-Strike, and this just feels like cartoony and silly, and it's just not for me. I think some people would like it, to be fair, but for me personally, it just didn't gel with me at all. I didn't, I like the idea of the cards, but in practice, I was like, meh. And then the guns, you can only use one gun per round. So once you've used it for one round, you got to choose a different one for the next round, which I thought was a little bit annoying as well.
That seems good. I mean, I can understand that it might have even come down to the fact that the actual development team were fans of Counter-Strike and wanted to make their own kind of version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then you do run into the kind of thing where you're like, oh, how do we differentiate ourselves from obviously our competition?
Yeah.
And that usually involves a shitty gimmick.
Yeah.
I played a lot of fighting games back in the day. I know what a shitty gimmick is because they get chucked into fighting games constantly to try and differentiate or make them stand out or not have comparisons to other things in the franchises. So yeah, does the card system feel like a gimmick, or does it feel like it's actually been baked in reasonably well?
I mean, it is quite gimmicky. I mean, it's silly and fun. Don't get me wrong, like that big head mode and things like that. But I don't know what I think it's just. I don't know if it's just because I'm old and grumpy as well. I don't know, but it's like the characters themselves all have different abilities. So it's like it is Counter-Strike, but with a hero shooter, because each hero has different abilities, and then you got the card things on top as well. And I'm not being funny, but all the characters look just fucking shit, in my opinion. Look very for the modern audience, shall we say, like just very not my cup of tea. Yeah. Like silly pink hair and stupid glasses and stuff. Excuse me. So, I mean, if you were a teenager, I think you'd probably like this. I don't know.
Is it a free to play when it comes out?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
It's Xbox and PC only. So, I mean,
I bet it does better than Concord.
It probably will, because it does sound like I'm really slagging it off, and perhaps I am. But I think other people would probably find this quite fun. I really do. But as I say, it's just not for me. I'm quite specific with my shooters now. I like playing Call of Duty. I like my Battlefields. I love my Counter-Strike. I even really like Splitgate, because that does something completely different. I love the portal system on this. It's just, if I'm going to play a Counter-Strike type game, I'm personally going to play Counter-Strike, not Frag Punk or Valorant, because those like Frag Punk and Valorant are quite similar in some regards, just trying to be like Counter-Strike, but with differences to them, if that makes sense. So it's just a personal thing, and I also think that hero shooter space is quite jam-packed as well, because you've got Overwatch as well, which people play, and Rainbow Six Siege is another one, with all the different heroes and stuff like that. So, it's quite a saturated marketplace. We talked about this quite a lot about when Concord came out as well. I think even though this is free to play, I think it's going to have to be something special to get some of that market share. So it'd be interesting to see how it does, to be honest. But as I say, I didn't particularly enjoy it. So yes, right. A couple more games then. I just want to talk about Halo Infinite very quickly. So I played some Halo Infinite with my boy on the weekend. They added a new mode, which is exactly the same as Call of Duty Zombies. Remember the old school Zombies mode on Call of Duty, where you're in an area and then you earn points and you can get better guns, and you got the little box which brings out like the mystery box with the mystery gun, and then you spend your points also to unlock more of the map. You remember that all, Darren? All that different stuff on Zombies? This is exactly that. And I'm talking about exactly that. But instead of zombies, they're the alien enemies in Halo, but they're kind of zombie-like, if that makes sense. It is a carbon copy of Call of Duty's old school zombies, and it's really fun. Really enjoyed playing it. So there's 4 of you on a team, and you start off in, say, like a small area. You kill grunts and other enemies. You grab your points around ends, and then you spend your points on extra ammo, better guns, unlocking more areas on the map, and then obviously the game ends when you all die. Just exactly like zombies. So it's fun, man. I really like it, and it's cool to see because I actually quite like Halo Infinite multiplayer anyway. I really like the big team battle and Slayer and stuff like that. It's good to see that still updating it with really fun game modes like this, because it's kind of this mode is kind of here because it's like that Halloween spooky season, So yeah, I'm really liking it. So if you haven't played Halo for a while and you're missing the COD zombies, check it out. It's a lot of fun. So there's that. I've actually been playing a game, couch co-op, 3-player, with both my kids. Yeah. Which is really cool. Sonic Superstars. So it's basically...
Is this the one that's like an amalgamation of all the different Sonics and stuff?
No, it's all like... It's side-scrolling Sonic. That's all it is, a side-scrolling Sonic, right? But you can have up to 4 players couch co-op. And it does become a bit hectic because... I've been playing it 3-player, so you choose your character. I'm Sonic, Marcus is Tails, and Aerith is obviously Amy, because she's pink. And basically, you're all running through the levels together, which does get a bit crazy, but it does it quite well. So if one of you, falls behind, you become like a little bubble at the bottom of the screen, and you press A, and then you reappear next to the character that's kind of... the camera is following, if that makes sense. It does it really well, actually, because it's got all the classic kind of levels, like your Green Hill type zone. It's got like a casino type zone and a marble zone and stuff like that. So it's pretty much old school Sonic, but obviously the zones are slightly named differently, but you know what they are, if that makes sense, right? And also, what they do, you remember in the old Sonics, you go for a checkpoint and you go in the ring and it's got the special zone. It's kind of got all the special zones in this. So you remember in Sonic 1, you had the zone, the one where you had when you go through that maze with the birds. If that you're constantly spinning and it's like a maze, you've got to get the Chaos Emerald at the end. It's got that in it, but obviously you're all doing it together, which is completely mental. It's got another one where you take in turns to swing on these vines to get to the emerald at the end. It's really good, and I picked this up a little while ago because it was on sale for like £20, and the kids didn't really want to play it at the time, so I've had it for quite a while. And then over the weekend they were like, "Oh, Daddy, you fancy playing Sonic?" I was like, "Yeah, all right." And it's really fun. I think even if you're playing it on your own, I think you'd enjoy it. Because Sonic, who doesn't like Sonic, right? But I think it's really cool that there is a game, games are still being made with an emphasis on that couch co-op experience because, everything now is online, right? And when you got kids, it's just quite nice to still have that kind of those games that you can sit on the sofa together and play. So yeah, I've been really enjoying playing this. It's been really nice to get my daughter to play some video games and to get her to learn the controller as well. So if you've got kids, I highly recommend Sonic Superstars. It's a lot of fun. And even if you don't have kids, it's Sonic, so you'd love it anyway. So yeah, just wanted to give that game a shout out because it's Really good. Really, really good. So there's that. Last two games then I'm going to briefly mention. A new game. I don't know how old this game is. I think it's been out a few years, but it hit Game Pass this week. And I am digging it big time. Inscryption. Have you heard of this one?
Oh, I haven't actually.
So basically, it's a card game, but it's kind of very retro looking. So basically, you're trapped in a room with this mysterious character, and you only see his eyeballs because he's all in the shadows. And you've got to fight him with these card games, but like the cards talk to you. And there's like a little backstory going on as well, where you got to try and escape this room, but you're playing these cards. And it's really interesting. So you put these cards down, and then I haven't played it a lot, only about an hour. But so basically, you put like a squirrel down, and it does no damage. And then you can put a wolf down. So basically, it's all about these little blood things. So if there's like one little bit of blood on the card, you need to have one other animal card on your deck, so that eats it, and you can put it down, and then it can do damage to your opponent. And then you can get like other ones like snakes, which have to eat two animals on the board to get put on the board, etc. Yeah. But it's quite interesting because it's very retro feeling. It feels like very late 80s, early 90s vibe, with just the way like the game loads up and just the music and the feel of it. And I quite like as well that you're in this room playing cards, but you can get up at any time and walk around the room. That's really weird. And there's actually like some little stuff, there's little things around the room, and you actually need to do it at certain times to do things. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's there because there is a story there. So basically, you're on this. So basically, what it is like there's a board, and you have a little figure, and you move across the board, and then you get to like a shop, and you can buy things. But then you get to a point where you have to fight the dude you're playing against, and then you have to use the cards to beat him. Yeah, it's really quirky, but really interesting as well. I have been told it was on PS Plus before as well. So if any of you listening on plays who have a PS5, you may have played this already. But say early impressions of it, it's really cool because it's something completely different, you know. So yeah, Inscryption. It's a fun little title. So I'm going to play it more this week, and I'll give more of an update next podcast. But early impressions are it's a fun title. It really, really is. So, and I love card games anyway. So. It's good. So there's that. Last game I've been playing, and I've been pumping a lot of hours into this the past, few weeks, as I talked about last week. Unicorn Overlord. You weren't going to get through a podcast without me talking about it. It is my chill game at the minute, Darren. So basically what happens usually most evenings is we put the kids to bed about 7. And the missus usually sits with them for about an hour while she reads them stories and gives them a cuddle in that. So I'm kind of have a bit of a free time. So I kind of use that time to chill out on the sofa and play a little bit of Unicorn Overlord. And I don't know what it is. This game is really addictive because you have this big overworld, and it's got a really cool story to it because it's very Game of Thrones with... you have this big map, and each country's got its own ruler. But there's this big overarching evil which you need to kind of vanquish. And all the voices are very like British, if that makes sense. Oh, my lord, oh, my liege, and all this sort of stuff. It's pretty cool. It has a really good story to it. But it's something completely different to what I've played in ever, to be honest. I was going to say a very long time, but ever, because I mentioned last week I was expecting kind of a turn-based RPG, but the game is you have units and you can upgrade your units later on by adding more people per unit. But you have your units, and it's all about getting the right combo of people per unit, and then you set up the actions that they do in certain situations. So it's a bit like a game of chess in a weird way. So basically, you have 3 people in a unit, and like the actions will be like, I don't know, just fight, or you can set it up to if this character gets below 60% health or whatever, the mage in your unit will heal anyone under this percentage of health, or use a potion or something like that, or if someone gets attacked, this character will block. So it's all very tactical. It's very slow and methodical, and I like that because you explore the map at your own whim to a point, and there is an objective. However, getting to that objective on the map takes quite a while because you keep on getting these side quests to do. And these side quests, all of them have really cool stories to them. They're like their own little mini stories about different characters and all their backstory. And I love doing them because, one, it's interesting. And two, usually those characters will join your army and then you can use them. So it's a good way of collecting characters / people for the units. Now, you can hire mercenaries to add to units as well, but using these other characters are really cool because they have their own special abilities, etc. And also, you need to earn this currency called renown, and it costs you a certain amount to upgrade your units, say like to add an extra unit or to expand the amount of people you can have in a unit, because when you start the game you can only have, I think, 4 units, and those units can only have 2 characters each in. And I'm at a point now where I've got 8 units and 3 of my units have 4 characters in each now, and the rest of them only have 3. I'm still trying to earn enough currency to upgrade the rest. And it just does make it a little bit easier as you go, to have the more people in the unit, because obviously you can do more damage, more healing, etc. It's a great game. It is definitely one of the top games I've played this year. It boggles my mind, Darren, that this game will never come to PC. What the fuck? It's even on the Switch, and this would be the perfect handheld title, I'll tell you that now. It boggles my mind because I'd love to play this on the Switch, but instead I'm kind of limited on the playtime I can have at the minute because I've got it on the Xbox, and obviously I bought it physical, so I can't even play it on my S upstairs or anything. So obviously I'm playing it on the big TV downstairs when I can find the time when the kids haven't got it, or the wife or whatever. But mate, this game is so good. I think you would love it. I really do.
I've got it.
But you've not played it. Or have you played it and not told me?
I've played the demo, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I own it. It's literally sat there.
But obviously you just haven't got the time. I get it.
Yeah. Haven't gotten round to it yet.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. It really is. So play it when you can. I know you've got a lot of games to play at the minute and you're a busy man. But yeah, it's well worth it. It really, really is. So yeah, I don't want to go on about it too much. I know it's a very niche title, but if you're into strategy and RPGs, 100% well worth buying. Especially for the price it is now, picked up for 30 quid in game of all places, which is usually super expensive. So you can get some good deals out there. I think it's 25 quid in CEX at the minute if you can find a copy. And I think it's one of those games where it's good to have a physical copy because I don't think they actually pushed out loads of copies in the physical world. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. Cool. Okay. That's all I've played. I know it's a lot to delve into, but there we go. Right, news then. there's been a little bit of news this week. So I didn't even know this had come out now. Until Dawn Remake on the PlayStation. This is apparently out now.
Oh, right, yeah.
It didn't sell very well, apparently.
Again, it was kind of a game that people weren't particularly asking for.
No. It says here that this website, True Trophy, says Until Dawn's PS5 player count is staggeringly low and is one of the worst debuts we have seen in quite some time, even worse than Concord. Ouch. So basically what this website does is it uses the data, the PlayStation Plus data, to accumulate like how many users there are using the trophy thing. By the looks of it. We'll be able to check down there. Okay. So I'm just trying to see. Where's I can't see the actual player numbers. Promotion. But yeah, apparently it's very low. Yes. So that's quite sad to see. But they had it as a full price title. So yeah. Just wanted to throw that out there. I didn't even know it'd come out, to be honest, so it might have something to do with it. Red Dead Redemption.
Also,
go on.
Doesn't perform pretty well, does it? Like, a lot of people have said they prefer the visuals to the older version.
Right.
Because they've kind of gone for a more realistic looking thing with this redo.
Right. Oh, okay.
And also the remake runs at 30 FPS, whereas the old one, if you're running it on the PS5, runs at 60 FPS.
That is ridiculous.
And I think as soon as people found that out, it's put a load of people off, because it's like, well, I might as well just buy the old version, because you can get it for like under 20 quid.
Yeah.
Probably 10 to 15 quid or so, and then basically just play that on the PS5 instead. Yeah, but I'm guessing this is because they wanted to put the game on the PC.
Yeah. But I don't understand, like, because I think Sony were pretty shady with this. They delisted the original off the store. So the only version you can buy is this new version.
All right.
But I thought the original looked great anyway. And I just think it's a bit naughty for them to delist it and then make you pay the 70 quid for a fucking remaster. I just think it's piss take. I really do. I mean, I'm just looking at a comparison now. There's not much difference at all, to be honest. So, anyway, I was going to talk about Red Dead Redemption. So, it's actually coming to the PC for the first time ever. At the end of this month, in fact. It's only a couple of weeks ago away. A lot of people are complaining about this, though, because it's, coming out 29th of October, PC. 40 quid for a remaster. And it doesn't really look like they've done anything to it graphically. I mean, the screenshots look decent, but I think originally it looked good anyway, to be fair. So it's cool it's coming to PC, but I think people have just been moaning about the price. It's Rockstar. Of course, they're going to sell it as a fair old chunk, eh? So yeah. I want to be interested to see how so well it sells, because obviously everyone who's wanted to play it has probably already got a console anyway. So, be interesting to see. So yeah, there's that. Oh yes, I can't remember if I told you about this during the week. Nintendo have got some new hardware coming out. Nintendo Alamo. Have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah. I saw a load of meme stuff that was posted about it.
It is a £100 alarm clock. You heard it here first, folks. Alarm clock. Basically, it's a round bit of plastic with a big button on top, and it wakes you up to the sound of your favorite Nintendo game, be it Mario or Zelda or something else. There you
Couldn't
go.
you just get music of your favourite game on your normal phone and set that as your alarm tone anyway?
Probably, but it also has this other feature. Watch the trailer where it scans like where you are, so it knows if you've moved. So it's got like motion sensor on it, and then once you get out of bed, like it does like some victory music or something weird like that. Yeah, random as fuck. I mean, it's pretty cool, but wow. Trust Nintendo, eh? Oh dear. I'm going to buy one.
Really?
No. Not for 100 quid. It's just really weird. It's an alarm clock. It has to be connected to the internet. And it has a motion detector thing on it. I just think it's weird. But it's a cool idea, I guess. Yeah. So instead of announcing the Switch 2 or whatever, an alarm clock, Nintendo. Good job.
It'll come.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. I've got a link here for something. Oh, yes. So from November, Xbox xCloud will allow users to stream any game in their library. So at the minute, it's just obviously the Game Pass games that you can stream, yeah. But any game you own on your account, you will be able to stream. I think that's pretty cool, I guess, if you're into streaming. So,
does that still obviously require, you know, like when it was through the PlayStation, you had your PlayStation on upstairs in another room and then you stream from that basically, or is this just like a play anywhere kind of thing?
I believe this is a play anywhere thing.
I mean, that would make more sense, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. And stream any game in the Xbox library through xCloud, Xbox Cloud Gaming. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Cool. Yeah, so that's all. That's cool. Bit of news. Let me see what this. But oh yes, I saw this because I hadn't heard this before. So obviously we had the Tomb Raider remasters for 1, 2, and 3. Well, on Valentine's Day, 14th of February next year, Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 remastered are coming out in a package.
Which ones are they? Because obviously they kind of ended up just going to other names, didn't they, after a while?
It will bring the Darkness trilogy of beloved globetrotting Tomb Raider adventures, originally developed by Core Design, to modern platforms. 25 quid, apparently. I don't think that's that bad for free games.
That is a good price,
yeah.
Like even the like the Capcom remastered, or I wouldn't say remastered, but their collections are usually like.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation that came out in 1999, Tomb Raider Chronicles from 2000, and Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness.
That's the one with like the weird evil version of Lara, isn't it?
Accused of murder, Lara becomes a fugitive on the run, uncovering a sinister conspiracy. Yeah, sounds cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome. So looking forward to that. And Sly made me aware of this bit of news. This is my last bit of news, and then I will answer your question in a moment. The Steam Deck is officially launching in Australia in November. Until now, the only way for Aussies to get hold of a Steam Deck is to import one. That's how Sly got hold of his. He had to go to an importer bloke. Mental, isn't it?
Weird.
Yeah, it's still not officially released in Australia until November. Crazy.
So, Yeah, I was just wondering what that does with, because when you import stuff, like a lot of it's reasonably easy, but until you know that obviously different countries use different power,
Yeah.
so does he have to use a step down and stuff
No,
for it? I
I
guess
mean,
when he's charging it and things.
dude, it's just charges off a normal USB-C cable. So
So yeah, that might, I
yeah,
suppose things would do that now. In fact, it would probably be more useful for that to become more of a worldwide thing. To be honest, with power going forward for a lot of electronics, because it would save a lot of issues in needing step downs, etc.
yeah.
Because obviously back in the day, a friend of mine probably told this story before, plugged an English PlayStation power lead into the back of a US PlayStation and fried it.
Oh dear.
My friend laughed until he realised it was his console that had been plugged in.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah. Okay, so Nick has just texted me. He is okay. He's just got stuff
All right, that's
going on.
good.
So as long as he's all
Fair.
right, that's all I'm happy with. Yeah, so that's all good. So yeah, it's weird, Darren, isn't it? It's only just coming out in November in Aussie. So I thought it'd be a good bit of news to tell the Australian listeners of the podcast.
But I'm
Good
sure most
news.
of them would probably, if they were interested, they would have imported it anyway.
Yeah.
Bit late to the party there, but
yeah.
weird.
And that's it. That's all my news. Anything else you wanted to say, mate?
Not that I can think of. I'm sure there's probably a few news stories missed out, as per usual.
Yeah, well, you can never keep up, can we? It's a bit impossible. I'm just feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of games on my list at the minute. I don't know about you. I feel like I'm playing a little bit of a lot. I'm struggling. Like, I'm enjoying the games I'm playing, but I'm struggling.
That's why I don't want to play Metaphor yet, because I was like, no, I want to finish Silent Hill first. Otherwise, I'll end up doing the usual, getting caught in between 2 or 3 games, not finishing any of them, and then moving on to something else like months down the line.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like I'm kind of doing at the minute, because I've got, obviously, Black Myth Wukong's the big one, really, to be fair. But obviously with Black Myth, Silent Hill, Sword Art Online, and Unicorn Overlord on the go, as, you know, one of as 4 of many. I mean, they're big games anyway. So I need to stick to just one and finish, but I'm struggling to do that at the minute, because I'm enjoying them all.
I mean, it's understandable. Yeah. I mean, I know friends that are like literally like Goose. He's just been playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
And that's all he's played for like the last 2 or 3 years. And he's like, I'm starting to get bored. And I'm like, you think?
God, yeah.
Like I couldn't just play one game constantly.
No.
Like that would do my nut. Like that's why I have to sort of like flip between things like a butterfly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some people obviously don't get that thing. They'll only get like 2 or 3 games a year. Yeah. And then they'll just obviously put a lot of time into them. Like if you've got like I don't know, say Fortnite, Call of Duty, and a FIFA or something, that'll probably be quite happy for your average gamer.
Yeah, whereas I've fucking
going.
Bought loads of games recently. It's crazy. Oh, I forgot.
And we're about to head into the sort of like the busier season of the year as well when it comes to game releases.
Yeah, we've got COD out soon as well, and
well, at least that's a freebie. So is that Metaphor for you because that's on Game Pass?
That's not on Game Pass, mate.
What?
No, it's not. I think we mentioned this last week.
Really? I was pretty sure it was advertised as a Game Pass game.
No, it's £60.
Ah.
Yeah. I wish it was on Game Pass. I would say save me some money, but there we go.
It probably will eventually end up on there.
Yeah. Well, I still haven't even played Persona 3 Reload yet, so got loads on the back burner. Oh, was there so Clarky? As I say, so Clarky.
Yeah, sorry, Karen.
He did ask a question.
That's good. Have we got many questions? I know you used to get some, but
I was kind of given up asking because no one bothers anymore. But he actually just put one in the Twitch a second ago saying, "Do you think Xbox will make a handheld?"
I've heard the rumours that they are apparently going to do one, and it'll be. I've got a feeling it's just going to be a streaming device.
I would
mainly
like
to what thingy is going to be. But
wish
if you could obviously, I don't know. Actually, maybe thinking about it, they could, because obviously you put your account in, and then if you could download games from your account to the handheld device, which would obviously have built-in memory, but then you're possibly going to run into authentication errors if you've got the same thing installed on two different devices.
Yeah.
And you're trying to play it in like different locations, etc. I mean, if I change my take my certain games down a friend's house and plug it in, it wants me to reset or change my password because the IP address is changed.
Yeah.
For what I'm logging into the game with from normal. So, but I think they'd probably do a good idea doing like a cheaper version, similar to what PlayStation did with their weird whatever the hell it was.
The streaming thing.
Yeah, because if they're going for a thing where it's like all of the games on your library, if you own Game Pass, can be streamed through it, that would make a lot of sense for them to then do that.
Yeah. I would like them to see.
It's been such a. Sorry.
I'd like to see them do like some proper hardware, a bit like a Switch, which you can dock. Obviously, super powerful, because I just think that'd be cool, you know. But I think you're right. I think what you're saying about the streaming is more, I think, what they would do.
It would make more financial sense, because I think they're being Microsoft are kind of being very coy after spending so much money for freaking Activision and that.
Yeah.
Which it still boggles the mind, like why they spent that amount of money on all of that. I'm guessing there's other stuff, because they didn't just acquire Activision Blizzard, was there? There was like mobile developers
like
and stuff like that in there, and and whatnot. But like Blizzard themselves, you're talking about a publisher that has like what 2 or 3 franchises now, basically Warcraft, Overwatch, and Diablo. That's it.
Yeah.
In fact, technically, all of the big Western sort of studios have all sort of publishers, have all fallen to basically just being a couple of franchises, and that's it.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
EA basically just put out sports games now. I don't really hear about anything else, and when you do, it's that weird stuff like that first-person magician game, Immortals of Avium, or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah. I fell off that very quick.
And obviously Ubisoft is sort of like just, I don't know what they're doing. I don't think anyone knows what they're doing.
No. Shame, really.
I'm sure Just Dance will come out.
Oh, yeah, of course. There's got to be a Just Dance every Christmas.
I think it's one of their biggest money makers, to be honest.
I miss Guitar Hero / Rock Band type games.
Oh, they still technically live just on Fortnite instead.
Yeah. I could do with another plastic guitar in the house. Oh, dear.
See, I'd still imagine Just Dance probably sells the most on Nintendo.
It probably does sell very well there, yeah, definitely.
Because I think when it basically shot to fame, it was the Wii, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it is very much that kind of a game.
Yeah.
So now that kind of thing has kind of died off outside of the Switch. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's about it, Darren, isn't it? Just for me and thee. Yeah. I think we've done quite well for just the 2 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Some good chat at the beginning as well, before we even hit record. Lol.
I was waiting for someone to turn up.
Yeah, well, at least they're all right, so that's the main thing.
Yes.
I was kind of worried for a while because I know about some of his issues and that, his leg and that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can never rule anything out. It's
No.
like I've always said, like, you could be in a game, in a multiplayer game, like we've had it in Fortnite, we're like, oh, what's the other guy doing? Oh, he's just standing there doing nothing. And we're obviously slagging him off, but we don't know. That guy could be somewhere around, like, frothing on the floor or something.
Yeah.
You've just got no idea, have you?
No. Can you imagine that? I mean, I've seen some I saw some stories ages ago online about people in game party chats of people, and then suddenly going quiet, and they don't know what's happened, and then they've called like the police around their house, and they've been like they like had a heart attack or something. You know what I mean? It's mental. Oh my goodness. Fuck that.
Of course, the new Sonic's going to be a huge game later this year as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, there's another one coming out, isn't there? Is it Generations or something else? Sonic Prime?
It might be Generations, but I've got a feeling we've already had Sonic Generations.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, I can't remember the name of Sonic. We've got Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's got to be it. Yeah. Yes, because there was a trailer for that. Yeah.
With the Keanu Reeves voicing Shadow DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Or addition to the game. But yeah, now Assassin's Creed scuttled off to next year. It's really sort of like COD and a couple of others that escape my mind, even though there's probably some that I'm really looking forward to that I can't remember at the moment.
Yeah. Cool,
Dynasty
mate.
Warriors is in January.
Yeah.
So next year's looking good again, as it always does. The first parts of the following year. But yeah, might as well wrap it up, mate.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Continues.
Yeah, I'm getting distracted. I was just getting distracted by Pete. Yeah, well, I was just about to have a look at what else was coming out this year. Then I saw Peebs have put someone on Discord talking about this Mad Streets game that's just come out on Game Pass. Apparently, it's an easy 1000G, but he's talking about how shit it is. So he's obviously, even though he's a PS fanboy these days, he's still Chivo whoring slightly. So, game release is 2024. So we'll go to the calendar quickly. So what are we in?
This is really bad because usually I'll remember all the stuff that's coming up, but it's just been so sparse and weird recently in the past few years.
Oh yeah, so that Diablo 4 expansion that no one's bought is out. And then
I think it's done okay, but
yeah, I'm not paying 35 quid for a fucking expansion. Metaphor ReFantazio is meant to be amazeballs. I'm just looking. There's quite a few games out, but none of them are jumping out at me.
Got another JRPG in a few weeks as well.
What, Yeast, the new Yeast game? Yeast.
Oh yeah, that 10. As well. Yeah, Romancing Saga. I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. There's Call of Duty, Dragon Age: The Veilguard. That looks fucking shit. That's out October the 31st. Indiana Jones is out this year, Clarky. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, actually. It looks good.
Oh, what else is out? I
hope it's really good.
Yeah, we've got that. Stalker 2.
Oh, yeah, Stalker, yeah.
Slitterhead on the 8th of November. That looks quite interesting.
Oh, wow. Is that actually out very soon?
Path of Exile 2 is out on the 15th of November, and that's free to play.
Is that on everything? It is coming out on everything, but is it launching on everything?
Yes, PC, PS5, Xbox. Stalker 2 is out November 20th. What else is there? Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remakes out the 14th of November.
No, you're right.
December, Fantasia Neo Dimension, Indiana Jones, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remaster. And that's it.
I was quite surprised that Indiana Jones was December, but maybe it'd be good launching around sort of Christmassy. Sort of time.
9th of December. So I won't be playing it until January. So, yeah, so we've still got some good games coming out, man. So that's quite cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Sweet. All right. On that note, we're going to end it here. Thank you very much, Darren, for coming on. It's been awesome. Thank you.
No worries.
It's been good. And a big thank you to everyone on Twitch for staying the whole length. I think we've still got St. Adams and Clarkey left. Thank you very much. And obviously, thank you very much to all the Patreons. You're all awesome. So thank you very much, everybody. We will see you next week. Goodbye.